Hi, guys. We recently took a road trip and we ended up in Port St. Joe, Florida.
Now, where we live, we usually go to the west and go to places like Pensacola and things like that.
Yeah.
But this time, we actually took a trip to the east along what we call the Forgotten Coast.
Yes.
And it's a lot of small town
Beach towns.
beach towns in there that's, if you want to talk about Florida, 50 or 60 years ago, you go to these areas and there's still a little bit of a real
Old school Florida there.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of locals, way less tourists. We ran across something that was completely unexpected, but a very, very happy surprise.
Now, one of the things I'm always doing is I'm a thrifter. I go to thrift stores, flea markets, things like that. And so we went to a thrift store. And the one thing that I will tell you about Florida, if you don't know the Panhandle, we are on a different time zone than the rest of Florida.
Yes.
And for some reason, my phone, the clock didn't update or whatever. And so it was closed.
I think we were right on the line.
Right. And so we turned around and looked, and there was a really cool sign that said,
Yes, Forgotten Coast Sea Turtle Center. And let me tell you, I was so impressed. And I love sea turtles.
It was such a cool thing because, part of the travel is when you run across things that are really cool and unexpected, like we did there.
And we definitely got some unexpected things. Now, not only do they help sea turtles, they also help other turtles and tortoises. And they even rescued a cat, too, which that won my heart, of course. But they do a lot of amazing work. These people, from May until October, cover 6 miles of beaches, and they protect the sea turtle nests. They help take care of them. They help foster them and make sure they're okay, and help these sea turtle babies make it to the Gulf to live a long, happy life.
And one of the things that, there was so much that I learned about the conservation and how to help.
Because we had an amazing tour guide.
Yeah, we really did. And, just like anything, anywhere you go, if someone's truly passionate and love what they do, that's just not really measurable.
It's not, and it shone through brightly with Nancy. And she was very passionate about it.
And what she did was she said, we could make this as long as you want to, as short as you want to. And I'm like, well, we're here, and I really wanted to learn a lot. So
and we did.
We did. So trying to think of where to even start with this. Well, the first thing was the types of sea turtles that there are. A lot of different types of sea turtles.
More than you'd realize.
Right. And they very, very much vary in size. The biggest one is the leatherback.
And oh my word, they are giant.
These things can be like 10 feet long, okay? Their shells are 10 foot long. They have the leatherback shell because they dive deeper and deeper pressure, when they're looking for food.
Which I thought was so cool. It's this natural protection. Right. And I thought that. And now the smallest one is the Kemp's Ridley.
Right.
And it still can get pretty large. It's still an impressive size sea turtle.
So this is our loggerheads that we're primarily going to have. These are our greens. As you said, they're huge. Right. For the hawksbill is the other one that nests in Florida. We don't have a replica. The Kemp's Ridley and the hawksbills are the most endangered.
They are really amazing creatures to me.
One of the things that they do out on Cape San Blas and St. Joe in that area is that they basically have, as Marty mentioned, a watch where where during the turtle season that they kind of train people up to how to spot what is called the crawl.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is through the sand where these mamas come up and they lay their
little
eggs.
Tiny turtle footprints. It's so cute.
And, it's just like kind of in some places just a big long, something came out.
It's like a trail, yeah.
Yeah. And, we learned so much about the egg laying process and basically what was going on there, and how that some nests could hold between 40 to over 100 eggs.
They have found up to 150.
150. Said. Wow.
I think that's what they said.
Now,
it's incredible amount.
Now, once they identify these, then they actually fence it off and put people there to monitor it.
They put wire over it to try to protect it from, believe it or not, coyotes.
Yeah, coyotes.
No, that was a thing on the beach, and I've lived here forever.
Coyotes and raccoons, and they will decimate these nest
turtle eggs.
And so they actually try to fence those off, which is pretty neat. The other thing was that, and those are the two major natural predators. But then, one of the species that really cause a lot of harm to them are us.
People. Yes.
And it's things that, we really don't think about, and it's one of those things that we want to always make sure the beaches are clean, always leave things better than you found them.
But it's not just a cosmetic issue. Right. This is to protect the sea life.
Because turtles, they don't differentiate between a piece of plastic or plastic toy shell. Or a conch shell, because they bite into it. And so if you see conch shells with kind of little diamond-shaped holes in them, it's because a turtle
Which is so funny, because I remember finding them all my life, and then I'm like, that explains the holes. Right. I had no idea that it was turtles doing that,
And so, that was part of it. So, let's make sure that we clean the beaches up. Also, anything large like a cooler or something that may be left there overnight. If a turtle runs into that as the mom's trying to get up, and she runs into any kind of hard obstacle like that, she'll turn around and
go back.
Yeah.
And then that prevents her from making her nest there on the beach. And it's so cool to me, the fact that they come back to the same area in which they were born to make their own nest.
We say turtles dig the beach clean, dark, and flat because the light is really, really important to them. When you think about before we were around, the beach is really dark. The only light is the celestial light shining off the water. So when the mamas and the babies want to get into the water, they're looking for that light.
That turtle GPS is really, really cool. So they may go
it's a thing.
hundreds of miles and, end up in the same spot.
Yeah.
So that does, remind us that if you happen to be one of those good Samaritans and you are going to take a turtle and put it on across the road as it's going, make sure you always put it in the direction it's going, because if not, it will turn back around and go back across the road.
Yeah, they are very direction oriented.
Just like me.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go that. We're just going to skip right over that part. But these turtles and these people that protect them are amazing. They're doing amazing work. They work so hard to make sure these baby turtles make it back out into the Gulf and live a long, healthy life. And I am just very impressed with what they're doing.
In addition to that, they do a lot of rescuing of these animals. One of the things I didn't realize, that as more and more people will just release these things, and these turtles and tortoises into the wild, it causes some issues.
Yes, because they have some tortoises there as well. It's not just sea turtles. Right. They also help tortoises. And we got to see several of them. And they are so cute. We even got to see Nancy feed a couple of them. And it was so much fun to watch. They're just adorable.
And each one of them, they have their unique personalities.
Yes, they do.
So there was a couple. There was Daryl and Daryl that were from the same nest.
But they're spelled differently now. Yep. So make sure you clarify that.
You had Charlie. You had just a lot of really, really cute turtles there.
They had some from the Amazon that were beautiful. They had red on their feet, and their coloring is just gorgeous.
And that was Scarlet, right?
Scarlet and Ruby.
And so, I just got Ruby right. Okay, I just got that. I missed that the other day.
Took a minute.
Yeah, sorry. So that was really cool. They had one from Malaysia. They had one from Russia. Mm-hmm. And they all have their unique personalities, which is really, really cool.
Yes, it is.
She's another red-footed tortoise. Now get a good look at Ruby and her size, and you can see how different they are in size. And so you really can't know how old a tortoise is unless you know when they were born. And let me see, I don't know. Come on, Ruby, you're going to be famous. There you go. I love when their little pink tongue comes out. All right, come on. Ooh, big bite. Ooh, you want some more? Ooh, nummy, nummy. Okay. Ooh. Ooh, you're hungry, huh? Let me see if I can get your sister.
So, guys, if you have the opportunity to visit the center, do it. Do it. It is so worth going to see and learning about these sea turtles. Nancy filled us in on so much information that we had no idea about. And like I said, we've lived here forever, and we've had, there are sea turtles everywhere. And it's just an amazing thing to learn about.
And it really only takes about 20, 30 minutes to go through it all. But there were so many just fascinating facts that we learned. Seeing the animals were really, really cool. To see one that had been shocked. So, and they've taken him to the vet, and his shell's growing back.
Shiloh was in an electrical fire 5 years ago. So this is all new shell that he's grown. So this is his old shell. And so as his new shell grows in, we'll take him to the vet, and she peels back his old shell because dirt or sand getting in between the two can cause him to get an infection.
Veterinarians there, they have so many people that just legitimately care about these animals. Now, the one thing that as broke teachers and oftentimes broke tourists is, now this place is completely free.
Yes, okay? It is.
But, it's a good thing to make a donation.
Yes, absolutely.
Because remember, it's going to, a good cause.
Such a good cause.
And conservation is such an important thing. So one thing that, please comment on places maybe around your area.
Let us know.
Yeah, let us know where, hey, this conservation park here, or hey, we've got this group of animal rescuers here or there, and let's try to get some funding to it, get it the word out, because so many of these agencies or these groups,
they just need a little bit of publicity to help them make the efforts that they need to make to help these like the sea turtles, these beautiful creatures. It can make all the difference, just somebody hearing about it.
And tell them about the bracelet. That's the last thing.
The bracelets are so cool. You can actually purchase these bracelets. I think they were $16.99, and they have technology in them that pairs with basically when you have your animal chipped to keep them from getting lost, they put microchips on the sea turtles and dolphins and I think manatees, I believe. And you can buy the bracelet and pair it with one that you adopt. And when you're paired, you can follow them wherever they are. And it's such a neat idea to me. And I'm definitely going to go back and do that.
It is really such a cool deal.
There is a lot of research going on with sea turtles. So these are different tracking devices. This is kind of like when dogs get chipped, a chip. And we actually have bracelets that are connected to chips in sharks, dolphins, and sea turtles. And so you can scan the code on it, and then you can see it on your phone. There's a little dot for where they are every day.
So again, if you're tired of the beach, you've been there all day, or it's a rainy day and you're anywhere on the Forgotten Coast,
yes,
it was one of those things. Like I said, when you wander into something that's really cool, that's kind of part of the travel that I enjoy.
Yes, and the passion that the people at the Forgotten Coast Sea Turtle Center have is just absolutely contagious, and it is an important thing. So be sure to visit them, and remember, break the monotony,
not the bank.
Bye, guys.